Hey, I'm Jay.
And I'm Jaimie.
And today we're gonna make this awesome fence for Halloween. To get started, we're going to build the frame of the fence using these pine 1x2s that we got at the big box store. Where we are, these were $1 a piece for these 8-footers, and they're kind of warped and weird, but that actually makes it better for the Halloween fence. We roughly cut them in half, and then we've got enough for 2 pieces. It takes 4 of these pieces to make one section of fence, and what we're going to do is take the 2 that are going to be the vertical pieces, and we're going to make the bottoms of them pointed so that we can hammer it into the ground, and that's how the fence is actually going to stand up. We're going to show you a few different ways you can cut the bottom of these into a point so that if you have to go stab a vampire or make a fence, you'll be able to do that no matter what tools you have. There's the circular saw, the bandsaw, the jigsaw, or if your power goes out, or if you're just into that kind of thing, there's the handsaw. Now, you probably noticed that I didn't measure at all. I totally just randomly cut these, and that's intentional, because the more randomness and variance there is in the Halloween fence, the more Halloween-y it's gonna look. So when you build yours, don't even worry about measurements and stuff, just build it. It comes out better that way. Next up are the fence slats that go across the middle, so we kind of loosely put this thing together so we can start getting measurements for how big they need to be. Now you could easily use the same wood for these fence slats, but we're actually using an even smaller piece of pine that's 1/4 inch thick. These are actually fence replacement parts for lattices. They're made out of pine, they're easy to find at the big box store, and they work really well for this. This next step gets real messy, so we laid down some big pieces of cardboard and then organized all of our pieces. To give it some color, we're going to be using some oil-based wood stain. You could also use some old paint that you might have lying around, just anything to give it kind of a brownish reddish color. We're using this because we've had it sitting on a shelf for a long time from an old project, and this is a perfect opportunity to use it up. Everything gets one full coat. It's very messy. It does take a little while because you got to let it dry, but it looks pretty good when you're done. Once that first coat's dry, we took some reddish stain and then just kind of spread it out all over the place, just to give it a little variance, try to make it look a little dirty and more realistic. Once everything's totally dry, we can put it together. We have about 12 inches at the top and about 8 inches at the bottom where it gets hammered into the ground. I say about because we really are just kind of roughing it in. We then take some glue and put a little bit of glue on each spot to hold it. Then we use a brad nailer to nail it in place. If you don't have a brad nailer, you can of course just use a hammer and nails. You could also use a screw and a screwdriver. Anything like that will work great to hold it in place. Also, if you can, using outdoor waterproof glue is a good idea. Next, we're going to attach the slats in the middle, and this is more of the same, but it's a little different because we don't measure anything. We just sort of randomly put them in place, space them out, and give each one a different angle. If you make a bunch of different pieces of fence, you want to make sure that these are all different on each one. To make sure the nails didn't stick through the opposite side, we tilted the brad nailer just a little bit so that they didn't pop through the other end, and after that, it was good to go. To secure each corner, we're going to use our trusty brown twine. We use this stuff on basically every project. It's awesome. We really didn't measure this, we just cut a long piece and then went over to the corner, propped it up, and tied on the first knot. We tied just a basic knot here, trimmed off the excess, and then used a little bit of hot glue to hold it in place, and then started wrapping it around the first corner. This is mainly just for decoration. It doesn't add a ton of strength, especially when you've got nails and glue in there, but it does help a little bit. We've had some of our fences up for I think 4 Halloweens in a row now, and they still hold together. These tiny, easy details go a long way to making your work stand out. We finished it up on all 4 corners, and then it was ready to bring outside to hammer into the ground next to the rest of the Halloween fence. Only thing left to do was to give it that last bit of final detail. One of our favorite materials that we use every Halloween is this stretchy, creepy spiderweb stuff. It's one of Jaimie's favorite things. We put it on just about everything, and it's the perfect final touch for these Halloween fences. Guys, thanks as always for watching. This is a really fun build. It's super easy, it's inexpensive, and you could totally do this to make your Halloween setup look amazing. If you have any ideas on how we could do a better job next time, or if you just want to say hi, leave a comment below. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to the Wicked Makers channel. It does help us out a lot. Plus, you get to see all of our other videos. We got tons of Halloween stuff. We got woodworking, electronics, lots of props. Until next time, happy Halloween, and stay wicked. You just kind of do it randomly and have it be what it is. Blah, blah, blah. There we go, 4 Halloween fence stake things.